What is up, Loreseekers, to episode 3 of The Lower Levels, a Star Wars podcast. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Sunday of Star Wars Celebration, and then we're going to talk about, of course, The Mandalorian, the latest episode. Not a lot to talk about as far as how we have been the 30-40 minute episode, so I think this one will be a lot shorter, but let's get right into it. Quote of the day: how long are you going to wait before you demand the best of yourself? And that quote is from Epictetus. And basically, what that means is somebody will set a goal, and they'll be like, well I'm going to start running. And then I'm going to start tomorrow, not today, because I need time to prepare. And so tomorrow comes and it's raining. And then the weather for the next day looks pretty good. That's when we'll start. And by the time that next day comes, they're already unmotivated again. So how long are you going to wait to demand the best version of yourself? So you need to, if you're creating goals, then you need to get after them. Don't start, one of my other favorites is like, it's November. Well, for my New Year's resolution next year, I'm going to try to lose 20 pounds. So what are we waiting for? Well, it's November. You're going to wait another month? You're going to go all the way through December? And then you're going to start? And then your brain's going to be like, well, if I'm starting my diet on January 1st, I should probably pig out in December. So now you said you're going to lose 20 pounds, but you probably just gained 5 pounds from November to December. So, and it's like that with everything, not just fitness. It's like that in the things that you do at work, the things you do with your family. It's always, are you delaying everything? Like you're delaying the yard work. A clean and nice temple, a home, is a judge of character, right? So you should be always looking to do things as soon as you can and getting after it. Because once you start the task, half the work's done. You're good to go. If you drive all the way to the park to go run, you're not just going to get back in your car and drive back, right? You're already there. You're like, well, I'm already here. Might as well run. So demand the best version of yourself. Become the strongest version of yourself. Do that mentally and physically. And I promise you, things in your life will start to change around. Anyways, let's get started with Star Wars. At the end of Star Wars Celebration, they announced that they're going to Japan. That was actually on my bucket list. Greece, Iceland, and Japan are my top 3 that I wanted to go. I actually have filled out everything that I needed for my passport. And because of Celebration Japan, I'm going to try to do that first. So I'm actively trying to go to Japan. That's going to be cool if it happens. I would say it's less than a 50% chance, though, because it's really expensive. The only way, I'll tell you, when the tickets go on sale, if I don't get a VIP pass, I'm not going to go. And I've had 2 VIP passes out of my 3 celebrations, so I got pretty good luck about getting VIP passes. We'll see. Bad Batch is getting a season 3. I was thinking they might do a movie, but they're going with season 3, which is, I'm glad. So we'll get another at least 8 episodes. And I don't think it's going to be a pleasant one for fans. I think it's going to be a very brutal ending to the season. I think there's going to be more character deaths, and I don't know. It's obviously going to tie into the Mandoverse. So because Mount Tannis, Thrawn, Ahsoka, they all play a very big role in all that. And I'm currently rereading through the Heir of the Empire series, and he's already at Mount Tannis, right? So it's gonna be a good time. And that's really all I wanted to cover with Star Wars Celebration. So we're gonna hop right into the Mandalorian, and because we have a lot to discuss on this one. And guys, forgive me. I just woke up. It's 8:40 a.m. where I am. I woke up at 8:15. I chugged some coffee, ate some scrambled eggs, and now I got more caffeine. So I'm trying to do my best here. Bear with me. Okay, so the title's called, for this chapter, I believe it's chapter 23, is called The Spies. And it's plural, right? And I didn't even realize that until people start, well, it's plural. I just assumed the spy was Elia Kane. But I'm here to tell you, it's not the armorer. It's too obvious. It's too obvious. Why would they make it? The armorer since season 1 has been a very mysterious character. A character that's written so good that I personally, every single time she's on screen, I was like, here's her villain arc. It's starting. This is it. And that's why it's not her. She's had so much opportunity. She could have killed Grogu. She's babysitted Grogu forever. Instead, she gives him armor. 2 times. She's given him armor twice. Okay? She knows. Let's just go through all the things that the armor can and could have done. She could have killed Grogu. She could have killed Din. She could have killed Bo. She could have ambushed Bo-Katan's people, the Night Owls. She could have ambushed them. She could have let them fight on Navarro, and that could have wiped them out. It weakened them at least, and then she could have had Moff Gideon come and then wipe up the stragglers. She could have had all of her people killed on the planet with all the creatures. Why even save the younglings if you're just going to kill them all and betray them, right? Why even do that? She is. It seems like she's set up to be the spy, but she's done so much to not undermine them either. She's the catalyst to getting them all back together. Why would you go through this elaborate plan to get all the Mandalorians back together? Because that's a big risk. And then have them go to Mandalore to a trap. When she could have just said this, hey, those Night Owls that you're looking for, the Bo-Katan and Axe Woves and Cosca Reeves, they're on this dumb little planet right there. Moff Gideon, go get them. And then they would have been at their campsite, drinking the tea, and you could ambush them. So now you have them in full military spirit, and you're going to bring them to you. Me as a military guy, why would you do that? The art of war would literally tell you not to do this. Like there's no tactical advantage that Moff Gideon has. Okay, so and then let's go right to the beginning of the episode. Elia Kane transmit through a probe droid, which is awesome, right? Blade Runner probe droid, right? So she transmits to a probe droid, and she's basically telling him, hey, guess what? Bo-Katan, the Night Owls, is with the Children of the Watch. And then Moff Gideon is like, they're not even allies. What are you talking about? He goes, I'm gonna deal with the Mandalorians. I will. This is a surprise to him. So why is the Elia Kane scene even there if Moff Gideon is already working with the armorer? Because the armorer would have at least told him, hey, we're back with Bo-Katan and we're coming to Mandalore, right? He knows that they're at Mandalore because of Elia Kane. Now, who is the spy? There's 2 other way more plausible people than the armorer. As much as everybody wants the armorer to be this crazy villain, I don't. I love her character as a hero, and I like the mysteriousness. I think that when she gets back to the fleet, she's going to lead a fleet battle to victory. She's a commander too. She is a warlord. She might not wield a blaster or anything, but she's killing people with a hammer, right? Her armorer tools. So what do you think she's going to do when she actually can command people in combat? So that's going to be exciting. Cosca Reeves, since the very beginning, since season, I don't know what season they appeared. It would be season 2. They were on that backwater planet where the calamari and stuff were on, and she's in like dark robes, and then she just disappears, right? So it's kind of like foreshadowing, and then she's always giving these weird looks to Grogu. Always. Like I went back and watched Cosca Reeves scenes. She looks at Grogu like, this dude's weird, or like she knows who he is. She's just looking at him. And then there's another scene where they're offering to go to Mandalore. Din and Grogu stand up or Din stands up. He's like, I will go, and Grogu will go with me. Who's the next person to do it? Casca Reeves. She stands up. I guess I'll go. All right. And she always has this like look, like, why are we here? Right? She has this attitude. And I know that's her trying to be in the character. But there's a lot of red flags with her character. She always looks like she has intentions. Unlike Axe-Woves, who is actively trying to unite people. Even though he wanted to be the leader. Once Bo beat him, and then she gets the Darksaber back, he submits, right? And he's like, okay, you're the leader. So I personally think it could be Casca Reeves. But even more plausible is these random Mandalorians on Mandalore. Okay, I get that you've been there, and you've been in the good fight since I think it was 9 years. No, because Endor would be 5, so 4 years. So for 4 years you've been living on Mandalore, and you've never seen Imperial shuttles come down. You've never seen TIE interceptors in the sky. You've never seen any type of probe droids. They built a whole base. They literally built a whole base. And not only did they build a base, they built it near the forge that you know the location to, obviously. It's the forge to the Mandalorians is like it's like the Vatican to Christians. It's like Jerusalem. It's a holy city. It's a holy area of Mandalore. So you're always going to be near it. So you're telling me that these 3 Mandalorians who are from the area, they know the area. I mean, they are right around the corner, right? They're like, hey, let's go to the forge. Oh, by the way, I should tell you something. The forge is not occupied by any of the animals and creatures of Mandalore. It's actually occupied by the Empire. So there's that. You know, like, how did you not know this? Like, it makes no sense to me. So I think those Mandalorians are the spies, and the ones that went up into the fleet are not really sick, and they're going to try to take over the flagships up in the space battle, and the armor is going to start piecing them up. So that's all I really have to say about the spy. I don't believe it's the armor. It's too obvious. They would almost be like, hey, your intelligence isn't that good, fans, so we're going to make it so obvious that it's the armor. So that's why I don't believe it. And why would she do so much to not undermine them, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Even if she is root cast, she's still a Mandalorian. She wants what's best for her people. And when she sees them unite, like, there's no better feeling than seeing Mandalorians fight together, right? As Canderous Ordo would want. Like, right, Mandalorians, we're together. Like, they want to be a group. They want to fight side by side, Mandalorian, and they want to fight. This is her dream. And it's accomplishing, and she's accomplishing it. So she's not going to allow, Moff Gideon destroyed her people. If there's anybody that a Mandalorian should hate, it's Moff Gideon. I just don't see the armor. With everything that's happened, the Mythosaur, the Darksaber, she sees everything. So I just don't think it's her. Anyways, the Shadow Council with Gilad Pellaeon and Commandant Hux, the father of General Hux in the sequel trilogy. They have this Shadow Council, and Moff Gideon approaches them. He passes some Beskar troops. He passes some cloning vats. I would assume those are Sparty cylinders with clones in it. And they have this really long discussion. I think it was like 5 to 10 minutes of the episode, just one huge scene of Imperials talking. I didn't realize how much I wanted that until we got it. And basically, Moff Gideon is trying to take over the Imperial Remnant. He's a warlord, along with several other warlords. And they're waiting for a leader who we already know, and it is Thrawn. And they're all getting impatient. Where is Thrawn? Where is Thrawn? Where is Thrawn? Why is he not coming out of the unknown regions? Well, Moff Gideon's like, well, if he's not going to ever show up, I'll do it. I'll take over. And everybody but two people almost kind of agree with him. And that's Hux and Paleon. And they both have separate plans. Hux has Project Necromancer, and Paleon has Heir to the Empire. And Moff Gideon obviously has his own plan. And he tells the Shadow Council, I need 3 Praetorian guards, and I need a host of TIE bombers. And because I need to fight the Mandalorians. For whatever reason, they believe the Mandalorians are going to be a huge threat. And they all agree. Okay, you're going to get your guards, you're going to get the TIE bombers. And then they all basically agree that if Thrawn doesn't appear very soon, Moff Gideon is going to become the leader. That's the gist of it that I got. And Hux and Paleon kind of look at each other like, all right, we need to get this done. And that was a really cool scene. Moff Gideon got what he wanted. We learned about Project Necromancer. I made a video on this. It's like 2-minute video. But basically, if you don't know what Project Necromancer is a dark wizard, basically, or dark magic coming from the dead, aka Palpatine, right? So Project Necromancer is trying to bring Palpatine back, and that's a direct result. The Shadow Council is a direct result from Operation Cinder. If you don't know what Operation Cinder is, it's a contingency plan that Emperor Palpatine set up after his death, where anyone that he felt wasn't loyal to the Empire get the nix, right? And so Operation Cinder was a success. It killed many Imperial officers, and rooted out the unloyal people at the Battle of Jakku. And only those super loyal to the Empire were surviving, and that becomes the Shadow Council. The only person missing from the Shadow Council is Rey Sloane. Don't know where she's at, don't know what she's doing. I'm assuming they're saving her because she's a massive book character. I'm assuming they're saving her for a book. So then Project Necromancer ties in everything. That's the very beginning of like the Bad Batch. With Mount Tannis, Omega, the clones, every experiment that they're doing in Bad Batch is at Mount Tannis. And Luke Skywalker's hand. So they're going to tie in the OT trilogy. They're going to tie in Ahsoka. They're going to tie in all of it, and it's all going to be this one massive story. So you're gonna if you think you're just going to become a Star Wars fan randomly, you got a lot of legwork to do, which I can understand. Like I heard people saying like that's going to be frustrating if you're not well versed in Star Wars. If you just want to watch like the movies, you could. But if you start watching the shows, there's going to be a lot of backstory. The Beskar Troopers. Kind of weird, right? I didn't really care for them because we're going to get right into Paz Vizsla. He mowed them down. And if they're Beskar Troopers, I mean, they were just eating, right? Or he was eating. He was taking their lunch. And he killed so many. And I was like, man, like for Beskar Troopers, they really were getting mopped down. So it's like, well, Din doesn't get mopped down like that. So the Beskar Troopers just look they almost kind of seem pointless to me. They look cool, but almost just rather have, commandos or something. That would have been cool. A squad of commandos versus them, and then have Moff Gideon be the sole Dark Trooper, or just bring back the Dark Troopers were successful. They just happened to run into Luke Skywalker, right? Imagine the Dark Troopers versus a team of Mandalorians. That would have been cool. I would have liked to see the Dark Troopers instead of these new Beskar Troopers. They're still cool. I'm not complaining. It's just a podcast. I just wanted to talk about it, in my opinion. I would have rather seen Dark Troopers instead of Beskar Troopers. Some I wrote down here the IG-12 thing with Grogu. I thought that was pretty cool. It made him really seem like you don't really look at Grogu as a kid. At least I don't. I don't call him the child. Because he uses the Force. He's hyper intelligent. He just doesn't talk. I feel like he's more intelligent than everybody else because of his species. And then you give him this toy, IG-12, where he can hit buttons. Yes, 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 yes. Then you're like, okay, he's still a kid. He's going down the market just hitting yes over and over. So just wanted to point that one out. We only have like 2 more. It's already 20 minutes. Yeah, I mean we're going right through this. Paz Vizsla's death is so worthy of who he is. So if you watch Vikings, the TV show, or if you study warrior history, such as like Spartans and stuff, like that's the way you'd want to go. That is a warrior's death. I posted on Twitter that I'd like to congratulate that warrior on the manner of his death. It's certainly fitting of his legend. So Paz Vizsla, man, he goes down. He takes like 20 Beskar troopers with him. Overheats his gun, his blaster. And then, after that, he starts fighting people hand-to-hand combat. Takes out a few more Beskar troopers. And then the 3 Praetorian guards show up. And he's like, you know what? I'm still here. Let's get this done. And he tries his best, but he ends up failing against the Praetorian guards. But man, what a death. I think that's one of the coolest deaths in Star Wars. And what a way to go out. Unfortunately, he's a huge character. So someone's going to have to replace his screen time in Season 4 as a Mandalorian. I thought he was a very big deal. Like the man... And here, when you're telling a story on the side of the heroes, where we basically know the heroes should win. Okay, well, we lost Paz Vizsla. If the Armorer betrays the Mandalorians, now they're at a huge disadvantage. Huge. Because they're already at a disadvantage. They can barely beat Moff Gideon if everybody's working together. And then the Armorer betrays them. So they don't have that many Mandalorians. They probably have like 50. Maybe 100 warriors. Plus the cruisers. I'm just assuming. And if they're betrayed, I mean they're gonna get wiped out quick. Then there's no story, right? Because Din's captured now, so you only have Bo-Katan, Axwos, Koska Reeves, and the Armorer as your 4 main characters in the Mandalorian faction right now. Din's captured. Well, Grogu too. But if the Armorer divides them, it's going to be a rout. The Empire will win, and maybe that's the route they're going to go. And then the New Republic will have to step in. If they do that, then I can see it. But if they want to continue the Mandalorian story, you have to leave some, right? There has to be some stragglers. So I just don't see it, guys. I think in the finale, Axe gets back to the fleet, warns the Armorer. The Armorer mounts a plausible defense, or she retreats, which I would be okay with too. And then Bo-Katan's like, well, we're not leaving Din because Grogu's not going to allow it. So the Armorer, Din, and maybe Axe, they get a little group together and then they go on a rescue mission to get Din back. And then out of those characters, someone is going to die. And then they're going to get out of there, and that's going to be the end of the show. I don't, as much as I want the New Republic to show up, or Luke, but Luke can't save the day twice, so that they're not going to do that. They could bring in Ahsoka, but why would Ahsoka know what's going on right now? She's doing her own thing. So the only thing that's going to save the Mandalorians, if they are saved in a battle, is a Delphi squadron. And that's going to be because, well, how do they know? Well, T3 knows the locations of everything. And they could have easily been tracking him. The New Republic has resources. I would assume once he was on that, he says, well, I'm never going to tell anybody about your location. But doesn't mean he's not tracking them or well aware, or they have some type of sensors in the Mandalorian system, because they're not on that planet anymore anyways. They're on Mandalore. So I would say it'd be the Adelphi Squadron. All right, we're gonna cover Din's capture now. I was on a tangent. I'm sorry. So Din got captured, and he's just dragged away, and then Paz dies. Well, Din's capture is gonna be kind of brutal, right? We know his helmet's gonna come off because Moff Gideon doesn't care. So he's done all that work for the season to show the children of the Watch, like, I'm one of you. I've bathed in the living waters of Mandalore, and I have my helmet back. Well, now he's just going to get it taken off again, right? Which is a huge disrespect to a warrior of Mandalore. And then what happens? Well, we already seen everyone saying, well, the Mind Flayer. That could be an option. But what information does Din have that no one else has? Yeah. He has the location to Luke Skywalker. And why is that important? Because there's one person who needs Luke Skywalker above anybody else, and that's Thrawn. Thrawn desperately needs Luke Skywalker's location. Well, why does Thrawn need Luke Skywalker? Well, in Legends, the Jedi Joruus C'baoth demands to have Jedi Padawans. And he believes he's a master, he's a clone. And he believes he's a master, he believes he's super experienced, and he wants Luke Skywalker and Leia to be his apprentices. And Thrawn says, okay, I will capture Luke Skywalker, and I will capture Princess Leia, and I will deliver them to you to be your Padawans on the condition that you use your powers for battle meditation for my fleets. If you don't know what battle meditation is, I'll explain it in a video. And that's their deal. So I would assume Thrawn has made it known that if you deliver Luke Skywalker to me, you'll be basically my second in command. I feel like the Shadow Council knows this. So, and he's also probably heard Moff Gideon's briefing about how he lost this battle in season 2. And Thrawn was like, okay, if you can find out Luke's position, give it to me. I'll take care of the rest. So I think the interrogation is going to be all about Luke Skywalker. And yeah, the helmet's going off. And who do I think's going to die? It could be Din. I would not be surprised if it happened. I'd be very upset. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Armorer, because I'm so Team Armorer now, man. I'm so Team Armorer. I think she could also be the next one to, because to me it was the Armorer, Paz, Din. Paz is gone. Din's second in command of the Children of the Watch. Armorer goes. Hero's death. Din becomes the leader of the Children of the Watch, and he can unite more than the Armorer can, even though they follow her religiously. But Din is going to be the one to convince them to start meshing as one. So I think the Armorer is going to make the next warrior sacrifice, and Din's going to take over the Children of the Watch. So yeah, that's going to be the episode, guys. Right under 30 minutes, man. I really want to trim these down to 20, but I do go off on tangents. I'm sorry. I don't think there's anything else. No, that's it. So I appreciate you listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Episode 4 will, of course, be ASAP, like probably 24 hours after the finale. I'm going to start posting that up. So hope everybody enjoys that one. It's going to be a good time, and may the Force be with you always.